Rafael's story is one that many of us can relate to. An ordinary man, juggling the demands and responsibilities of adulthood, but with one overwhelming burden weighing him down: debt. At 35 years old, Rafael feels as if he's caught in an endless cycle of financial struggle. Every month, he fights to pay rent, cover essential expenses, and somehow keep up with the mounting bills that never seem to stop. Despite his hard work and the extra hours he puts in, it feels like he's running in place, unable to gain any financial ground. His credit cards are maxed out, the interest on his car loan feels like an insurmountable wall, and each day brings new bills that stack up like a mountain he just can't climb. His bank account is almost always in the red, and that low balance has become a constant source of anxiety, like a weight pressing down on his chest every single day. Every bit of credit he manages to access only serves as a temporary lifeline, something to hold on to for a brief moment before the next cycle of stress begins. It's as if he's drowning, and no matter how many hours he works, it's never enough to keep his head above water. This relentless financial pressure doesn't just impact his bank account. It starts to seep into every other corner of Rafael's life. The stress of debt affects his health, relationships, and his very sense of self-worth. The weight of each unpaid bill and looming deadline gnaws at him, creating a growing sense of failure and helplessness. It's a burden he carries with him everywhere he goes. Slowly, Rafael begins to withdraw from the people around him. He isolates himself, pulling back from friends and family, avoiding invitations and nights out because he's afraid of being asked to split a dinner bill or contribute to a coffee that he knows he can't afford. Every time his phone buzzes with a notification, he tenses up, his heart racing as he braces himself for yet another reminder of his financial struggles. Sleepless nights have become part of his routine. Lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, he wonders if he'll ever be able to escape this crushing weight, or if this is simply his reality forever. He tries to convince himself that maybe, if he works a little harder or finds more ways to cut back, he can start digging himself out. But deep down, he knows he's only treading water. There's a lingering, haunting fear that this might truly be his life for the rest of his days. And that thought is enough to make him feel trapped in a cage of his own making. But then, something remarkable happens, almost as if fate has stepped in. On a particularly stressful day, needing an escape from his worries, Rafael decides to stop by a local bookstore. As he wanders through the aisles, he browses books on travel, adventure, and fiction, anything that might offer a brief distraction from his reality. But then, as he walks down one of the aisles, his eyes land on a simple, unassuming book in the finance section. Its cover isn't flashy, and at first glance it doesn't stand out. Yet there's something about it that pulls him in. The title promises a roadmap to financial transformation, a path to a life free from debt and struggle. It's almost as if the book has been sitting there, waiting for him to find it. He picks it up, and as he reads the first few lines, his eyes land on a phrase that resonates deeply within him. True wealth begins with a mindset. This statement feels like a revelation. It's a powerful message, one that challenges every belief he's ever held about money, hard work, and his ability to escape the shackles of debt. It's as if these words are speaking directly to him, confronting the hopelessness that he's been carrying. In that moment, with a mixture of curiosity and a glimmer of hope, Rafael decides to buy the book and take it home. What seems like a small, impulsive purchase becomes the first step in a journey that will completely change Rafael's life. As he sits down to read that evening, he finds himself completely captivated by the ideas presented in the book. It urges him to stop viewing money as something elusive, something he has to struggle against. Instead, it encourages him to see money as a tool, an ally in building the life he's always wanted. The words on each page begin to shift the way he thinks about not only his finances, but his own potential. For the first time, he realizes that the real issue might not be how much he earns, but rather how he manages and perceives his money. Rafael has a revelation. Financial freedom isn't a distant, unattainable dream. It's something that he can work towards by changing his mindset and his relationship with money. Fueled by this new perspective, Rafael makes a promise to himself. He's going to take back control of his financial life. It's time to stop letting his circumstances dictate his future, and he's ready to take action, no matter how intimidating the path ahead may seem. Armed with the insights he's gained from the book, he takes his first step, creating a budget. Budgeting is something he's avoided for years, mainly because it always felt too overwhelming. But this time, he approaches it with determination and clarity. He spends hours going through his expenses, listing out every debt, every bill, and every subscription. It's a confronting exercise, and he quickly realizes just how much of his hard-earned income has been slipping away on things that don't truly add value to his life. This simple act of budgeting becomes a revelation. It's the first time he's truly seeing where his money goes, and it empowers him in a way he's never experienced before. Making these changes isn't easy, and it requires him to make difficult choices. Rafael begins cutting back on things he once thought were essential. He cancels subscriptions he barely uses, stops dining out as often, and finds small ways to save on everyday expenses. Even when friends invite him to events, he declines, choosing instead to focus on his goal of financial stability. Each sacrifice feels challenging, but with every decision he makes, he reminds himself that he's building a future he can be proud of. Every dollar saved, every cutback, brings him a step closer to the life he wants. As Rafael continues reading and learning, he realizes that budgeting alone won't be enough to change his financial future. If he truly wants to build wealth, he needs to make his money work for him. He needs to invest. This concept excites him, but also fills him with fear. Investments have always seemed like something only wealthy people do, a foreign concept that feels out of his reach. But with the encouragement from the book, he decides to dive in. He begins researching investment options, devouring articles, watching tutorials, and learning terms that once felt like a different language. Words like compound interest, portfolio diversification, and long-term growth slowly start making sense. At first, the learning curve feels steep, almost impossible to tackle, but Rafael's determination pushes him forward. After weeks of research, Rafael decides to make his first small investment. He doesn't invest more than he can afford to lose, yet it still feels nerve-wracking. But when he finally clicks that button, he feels a profound sense of accomplishment. It's his first step toward building a financial foundation. And that small action marks the beginning of a new phase in his journey. Rafael is no longer just trying to save. He's actively growing his money, taking control of his financial future. However, as he quickly learns, not every investment decision will be a success. He makes a few mistakes along the way, including one that costs him a significant portion of his savings. It's a hard lesson, and for a brief moment he feels like he's right back at square one. The familiar self-doubt creeps in, and he begins to question if he's made a terrible mistake. But then he remembers the promise he made to himself, to never give up on his journey toward financial freedom. Instead of letting the setback defeat him, Rafael decides to view it as a valuable lesson. He adjusts his strategy, adopts a more cautious approach, and commits even more time to research before making his next investment. He begins to diversify his portfolio, balancing high-risk opportunities with safer options. Slowly but surely, he starts to see progress once again. This newfound resilience becomes one of his greatest strengths. He understands now that financial freedom isn't achieved overnight. It's a journey that requires patience, discipline, and a willingness to learn from each experience. As the months turn into years, Rafael's life begins to transform in ways he never thought possible. He's no longer working just to make ends meet. He's building a life of financial security and independence. Eventually, he even launches his own business, a financial consulting firm dedicated to helping others who, like him, once felt overwhelmed by debt and financial stress. His relationship with money has completely changed. It's no longer a source of anxiety, but a powerful tool he uses to create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. He's found a sense of balance, peace, and purpose he never thought possible. Now, Rafael shares his journey with others, giving talks, mentoring people, and spreading the knowledge that helped him escape the cycle of debt. He wants everyone to understand that financial transformation is within reach, that anyone can take control of their future with the right mindset and tools. And now, what about you? Are you ready to start your journey toward financial freedom? Rafael's story is living proof that no matter how difficult your situation might seem, there's a way forward. True wealth begins in the mind, with knowledge, resilience, and discipline. If Rafael's journey inspired you, let us know in the comments below. Share your own financial goals, dreams, or even challenges. Let's build a community right here, where we can inspire and support each other. And if you found value in Rafael's story, please hit that like button and share this video with someone who might need a little encouragement. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more life-changing stories and insights that can help you on your journey. The path to financial freedom begins with a single step. Start today, and let's walk this journey together.